Hey everyone, welcome to the AfterTaste Movie Podcast, and on this week's episode, we're talking a whole bunch of Marvel stuff, just because we have Drake Kemp in the house.
Hey, how's it
How
going?
you doing, man?
Oh, pretty good.
Good. It's good to have you on. Basically, we made up a show just for giggles because you're coming on, and you're a Marvel guy. You're one of the most Marvel guys I know, so we'll talk
I don't
about
have nearly as much Marvel stuff as you, though.
How disappointing. Like physical stuff?
Physical stuff.
Well, I mean, that's Eeyore. That's not Marvel. That's my robes from Universal Studios. It cost me too much money. And Bing Bong is made out of cotton candy. You ever watch Inside Out?
No.
No emotions. That's what I thought. Chelsea, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing good. How was your day?
It was good.
It was good? Anything
Yeah.
exciting happen?
Something
that we can't talk about
Yeah.
because it's our place of work and we don't want to say
yeah.
anything about where we work.
Otherwise, yeah, good.
Cool. Power went out. Sucks. All right. So today we're going to do a Marvel bracket gauntlet, basically, where we have a whole bunch of matchups and it breaks down to our favorite movie that we enjoy watching or whatever we decide it means. It's the journey, right? So we're going to start with our lowest seed and go from there. So we have a bracket right now that pits Captain America Civil War against Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Chelsea,
Yes.
any thoughts on these movies?
I love them both dearly, but in different
You
ways.
can't just say that for every movie because generally we like all of these films.
I know.
I've never gone to a Marvel movie and
Yeah.
was extremely disappointed by it. There may be a few that were close. Right?
Yeah.
You saw Dark World, right?
I enjoyed the hold on. Well, I started my job at a movie theater in 2013 when Dark World was there. So I have a little bit of like a soft spot for it. It was the last movie that would get out during the day. So obviously back then we're not going to talk about that. Standards were lesser back then. I'd get done with my job in like 10 minutes and I'd go watch the last 40 minutes of Dark World, which I saw Malekith get smashed by a thing in the planes, and it was I like the score of Dark World. Mm-hmm. But besides that, back to the point.
Yeah.
Were you saying a point? That's maybe not. So Civil War and Guardians Volume 2. Drake, do you have any thoughts on either one of those movies in general?
I'm kind of a huge Captain America mark, so I kind of feel like I'm like almost obligated to say Civil War, but like, man, Guardians 2 is just
I think
strong.
Guardians Volume 2 is very underrated for the most part. People kind of like, obviously Guardians 1 comes in and it's so fresh, it's so new, it's such a risk. Mm-hmm. And then Volume 2 comes in and it's kind of a lot of the same, but it's not new anymore. So people didn't take to it as much, right, Chelsea?
Yeah.
You had Ego, played by Kurt Russell, which is really
So
fun.
good.
I mean, I kind of feel like that was start of the turn of some of the Marvel villains not starting to have some gravitas, at least. Not just like...
not
just
being,
Malekith,
yeah.
right?
I feel like in like the early phases, the villains weren't. I don't want to say not developed because they were developed, but there was just something like after, like you said, like the turn, like going into phase 3 and onward, they just became more layered in a sense.
Yeah, I think Marvel really started to like invest in their villains because
we can do.
we need Loki can sell $1 million worth of merchandise.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we try to make somebody else like as important? Civil War though has probably one of my favorite scenes in the history of all MCU universes, which is the airport scene. I don't understand. Like, I mean, that was I don't want to jump to Endgame, but when it comes to oh my god moments in Marvel, that was one of the first. Oh wow, Spider-Man on the roof, freaking picking up Captain America's shield. It was one of those oh my god moments that was so big.
Yeah,
It does also have a lot of really good Bucky and Sam like stuff going on in it,
Exactly.
which like.
Are you excited for the
Absolutely.
the TV show coming out pretty soon?
Oh yeah.
God, you excited to see good old Mackie pick up the shield if he is picking up the shield?
Yeah.
You think he's picking it up, or you think it's a misdirect?
I don't think that it's a misdirect. I think honestly, like they could. There's so many possible like like last second things that they could like you remember when Civil War was coming out and we all thought for sure that Cap was going to bite it, that we were just going to get that storyline from the comics.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, okay, so that sucks. I guess this is his last movie. What a bummer. And obviously that didn't happen because there were like Endgame plans or whatever. But yeah, I feel like they could hand the shield to almost anyone, kind of like at least for an episode. But I don't know. I definitely see.
I mean,
it
I was
being...
one of those people that really did think that Bucky was gonna pick up the shield at one point, which is what I think they were misdirecting at for a while.
100%.
But yeah, Anthony Mackie as Cap, I'm all for that.
If like, and I'm not super versed on his or on either of their runs, but I'm pretty sure that Sam had it for a lot longer than Bucky did.
He did.
Bucky had it for like maybe a few like episodes, volumes, whatever.
Comics. What are you gonna do?
Paper.
Reading.
Once again though, I do love the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, and that movie did have a lot to it. It had the father story with good old Chris Pratt and Star-Lord and Kurt Russell. Mantis was thrown into the thing, which I kind of enjoyed.
You talking about Fallout Dynamics? You didn't even bring up Yondu, my dude.
Dude, we're not there yet.
We'll get there.
We're just starting. We're not there yet. Yes. It did have one of the most emotional scenes I think so far in the MCU, which was the Yondu, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Which I don't know if some writer wrote that somewhere, or if Michael Rooker came with that on the fly. I don't know what it was, but it was gold. And I went to Disneyland literally like 2 weeks ago, and there were shirts everywhere of just I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. And on there. So
awesome.
I saw a couple custom-made Funkos back when that movie came out, which was said Mary Poppins on it, and it was Yondu in there, and I thought that was really cool. But we're going to keep this going because I don't think we have 10 hours to talk about Marvel because we got a lot on our agenda tonight. Chelsea, if you had to decide between this Civil War film and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, what would your selection be?
This is a hard one.
Yeah, that's one.
It really...
It's going to break your heart no matter what you say down the line. Or this one, it's just how it is.
9 of our favorite movies are not going to make the list. Like, damn.
There was also, I think Chelsea Homecoming did make the list, so I do apologize for that. That was one that did get excluded.
Oh, that's okay.
But I enjoyed Homecoming too. If we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
But so Civil War or Guardians?
If I had to choose, I'm going with Civil War.
Civil War, Drake. You probably second that. I'm going to second that
Civil
one
War.
Like I said, I have a lot of feels with Guardians too, but Civil War was... The fact that it's so low of a seed with like what we think, it's pretty crazy to me. Civil War was such a big movie.
Yeah.
So that one's gonna go on, and we'll talk about its matchup next. After we go through a whole bunch, I can't spell civil. What an awful thing.
There's only 5 letters.
Yeah, well, there was 6 in the one I wrote down, so that's the problem. All right, so our next matchup here is we're going over to the next bracket, which has a matchup that we've seen before: Iron Man 1 versus Captain America First Avenger. Drake, you had Captain America First Avenger on your list. We didn't actually have that on our list. What do you have to say? Yeah, no, it wasn't on my top. I don't think it was on your top either, was it?
No.
What do you like so much about First Avenger?
Wow,
You're
I'm
cat. You were just talking about that earlier. You're a cat.
Yeah, no, straight up.
And I think that it is. The more I watch it, I haven't seen it in like a year or two, but I mean, the more I watch it, I think it's better and better. But
which First Avenger?
First Avenger.
Yeah. Like, I mean, obviously, there's some like weird bits in the middle that I'm not like incredibly keen on. Like some of the like Hydra soldiers firing like lasers everywhere. I was just like, this is
pretty crazy.
It's a little too early in the MCU. Like Iron Man had just come out and it was like super grounded and just kind of like gritty and had like a very real feel. So going from that to Hydra doing a giant square with flamethrowers was kind of jarring.
It's a little intense.
But I also really love that it's stupid and great. And that's kind of how I summarize my First Avenger feelings. It's just, it's stupid and great.
Stupid and great. And yeah, I think Marvel was in that early stages. Like, obviously, first Avenger was being made when these, Iron Man and Incredible Hulk came out. So they weren't quite sure where they were going with these films at the time. So I don't put it against the movie for being kind of crazy because it didn't exactly know where it was going to... It didn't even know if Iron Man was going to hit huge when they were making the movie.
Yeah.
They didn't even know... They knew the movie would probably come out, but probably is the word. They didn't know if they had to course correct. They basically just erased Incredible Hulk. They didn't know if they were going to have to fully course correct with Captain America.
Yeah.
So, did you like First Avenger a lot?
I think it's okay.
You think it's okay?
Yeah, if I'm being honest. I know, like you said, how like over time it does get better. I think the big takeaway for me is I do admire the fact that it's a period piece, within the MCU, and it does give me feels of I believe the director's name is Joe Johnston, or Johnston, however you say his name. He did the movie The Rocketeer from like 1990.
That's no Rocket Man.
And it kind of gives me like early feels of that, but compared to the first Iron Man, it definitely sits below.
It's got a really hard matchup.
To
begin with, to be honest, it's one of those mid rounds that matches up with something that's like equally yoked between us, basically.
Yeah.
Iron Man, right?
It's
change
so
the generation.
good.
Change the generation.
Yeah.
Change the lives of all those comic nerds out there. It brought superheroes to the mainstream, which it took over the mainstream now. It's basically the main form of entertainment for people. I think people go see movies 4 to 5 times a year on average.
Yeah.
When you have 3 to 4 superhero movies a year, I mean, that's the entire mainstream, basically.
Yeah.
So this movie did that. Jon Favreau directed this film. Robert Downey Jr. plucked from jail. Right? He was in jail. They took a chance on him, and he, came through, and he became the icon that he is today.
Yeah.
Can we actually talk about that like a little bit? Like just how many of those like early Marvel movie castings that people were at the time completely upset about? Like Tom Hiddleston, come on.
Who is Tom Hiddleston?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Who is this Brit?
It was bonk. I mean, it's obviously now it's we have the benefit of hindsight, but God, people were so mad. No one knew who Chris Hemsworth was.
And that's the crazy part of the whole thing. Is like it all came together. It had to take like everything coming together at once to succeed like it did. You look at the casting nowadays. Benedict Cumbersnatch is like Doctor Strange. But when he was cast, he was already Benedict Cumbersnatch.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to Brie Larson, she had been nominated for multiple Oscars when she was Captain Marvel. Tom Holland's a good one though, because we hadn't heard a lot about him before he was cast.
Yeah.
Even you're gonna punch me in the face. Black Panther's name is
The character or the actor?
Actor. I'm sorry.
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman. God, I'm sorry. I know his name. I know Michael B. Jordan's name better, unfortunately. But yeah, all these actors were decently known at the time that they were cast. Whereas Robert Downey Jr. back then, he was known for roles, but he was a drug addict right out of jail. Nobody knew who Chris Hemsworth was, really. Nobody. Chris Evans just made the freaking Fantastic Four.
Yeah, they were gonna take him seriously.
So nobody's gonna take him seriously. So Iron Man, like I said, I'm not sure this is much of a contest here, so I'm gonna keep us going here.
For sure.
Iron Man, I'm going
Man.
Iron Man all the way around. All right. Sorry, Drake.
Look, there's all like Civil War already advanced. I'm fine.
I know you're.
I'll cry when the podcast is over.
I know. Suck it up, though. All right, so we're gonna move on to one also, which I actually don't think is gonna be much of a contest, but I enjoyed as much. We have Thor Ragnarok versus Captain Marvel.
My God.
Did any of you guys like Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed Captain Marvel. I think it was kind of a fun '90s romp. Sam Jackson's aged down. They got a cat with tentacles coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
I like the Skrull in general, and any sort. I mean that trope of you can't trust anyone's faces or whatever. That's always super appealed to me. So
yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah, it's rad.
And then what was the Skrull's name again? I forget.
Played by Ben Mendelsohn.
Played by Ben Mendelsohn. It doesn't matter the name.
Talos.
Talos.
I was gonna say Ronan. Oh God.
Oh God. Destroyer. From which movie? Doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, I thought the Ben Mendelsohn character was fun.
Oh, he was my favorite, actually.
and,
Absolutely.
Miss Rambo, like the scene where she was crying, like giving her a hug, stole the movie. Like she was so good.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that movie a lot more than most people, I think. Which it's on my top 10 list of Marvel of all time, which is why it's on here. And I made the bracket, so that's why it's on the list. Just want to talk about it a little bit.
Oh, I get it now.
Dude, get over it. I'm sorry. It's your own setup, okay? All right. See, we have you back. I don't get it. That movie came out. It had a lot of backlash from a lot of toxic fanboys and people trying to trash the movie. It basically made them change the entire Rotten Tomatoes formula just because it.
I mean, we're in that age now. Like we've kind of been there since 2013, and I don't think we're gonna.
There's no going back.
There's
really.
no going back.
There's no going back. Just changing this, like.
Well, I mean, as long as no, never mind. I don't want to get into it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But also, when they changed those standards for Rotten Tomatoes, which unfortunately a lot of people do listen to people and their opinions. Everybody gets an opinion. We're on the radio waves right now, and we're saying our opinions, which is it's good and bad because it's great to hear other people's opinions. But a lot of people don't deserve their opinion to be heard. And those toxic fanboys that try to trash the film originally. You on your like parents' basement computer, like trying to trash a film. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
But then it's also hurt other films because they changed the entire Rotten Tomatoes audience score. And if you go on there right now, you basically, if you buy a ticket to a movie and go on, you have to buy a ticket now and you have to take a picture of it.
Right.
To go on and rate as an audience member. If you went and saw a movie, you're more likely going to go on there inherently and praise it for the most part because you went to see a movie that you like. All the scores now are all inflated. So audience scores are crazy now. They're all like I just watched the new Addams Family animated film. It's got like a 75%. That film was garbage. Don't go see it. Were you gonna go see the Addams Family animated film?
Not now.
No, don't go see it. Go watch Zombieland Double Tap, which was way better of a film.
I didn't even realize that was out yet.
Yeah, it just came out. Get your head in the game, man. You don't watch movies anymore. You just watch Marvel movies. That's why you're here.
I just sit at home and watch BreadTube all day.
Play Borderlands, man. You play that game I Am Bread? It just goes like this.
No.
That's a stupid game. Sorry. But we're going to get back on track. Thor Ragnarok's dope as hell, right?
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Taika Waititi, Chris Hemsworth saved the franchise. Humor.
Completely changed the face of that character.
Let's just say Chris Hemsworth probably didn't have a contract waiting for him at the end of Dark World. They made Thor Ragnarok. You give him the money. You give Taika the money. They're coming back for Thor Love and Thunder coming out in a couple years. Natalie Portman's back. I'm so excited for that franchise to keep going.
My wife is really, really hesitant about that. You know, she didn't like the Lady Thor storyline when she read it. So she doesn't like Natalie Portman, but I'm like, yeah, but it's still Taika. We're still
Taika will find a way to make it funny and make it good. He's got that movie Jojo Rabbit coming out now, which apparently made Hitler funny, which is impossible. So it also should be laughed at. Hitler's a bad guy. But Taika Waititi is great, and I don't think this is much of a conversation either. I think Thor is going to have to go on, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
God, who do?
So, sorry, Kat.
I mean, it is what it is. I just wanted to throw Captain Marvel on there for a bit of a discussion piece. So we're going to move on to... we're taking too long with these crappy brackets side. All right, so we're moving on to the Avengers. The first Avenger, not the first Avengers, the first Avenger film. Versus, I think the surprise of all of our lists was Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Fuck yeah.
Which I enjoyed the hell out of Ant-Man and the Wasp. I thought it was fun. Just a action comedy. Michael Pena, all the slow down scenes. They're all back. They took all the good things out of the first Ant-Man movie and they turned it up, and it was great. What did you like so much about the Ant-Man and Wasp movie, Drake?
Honestly, it's a coin toss between I also brought up the first Ant-Man just because I like Scott Lang's entire story, like him trying to make a future out of or rather trying to make something of himself after all the jail time. And how hard that is in a society like ours. And and while that is still present a lot in Ant-Man and the Wasp, what I really liked was all of that with him and his daughter. They were they're so fun together.
Mm-hmm.
They are fun.
The whole scene with the cardboard in the house.
Oh yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah,
It's a fun movie. I also liked Ghost. I like Ghost Edition.
Ghost's design is incredible.
She's great.
And I
She's fun.
cannot remember that actress's name.
I don't think anybody can.
She's fantastic. She was in an episode of Black Mirror. It's really good.
Nice. Yeah, I can't remember her name either, but I thought her edition was great. I think Goliath's edition was kind of great. He wasn't really Goliath yet, but I love that guy. You know, not Forrest Whitaker. Whatever his name is.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne. My bad. I'm sorry. Matrix 4 is coming out soon, in a couple years, so I think he's back for that one. Isn't he?
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's coming back. Somebody just got cast in that.
I know we
Neil
joke.
Patrick Harris just got cast in.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Seriously?
he's back. He's there. I'm still waiting for Will Smith to show up, but Neil Patrick Harris is back for Matrix 4 coming out in a couple years. So with the Avengers versus Ant-Man versus the Wasp, Avengers, it's our first mashup, people coming together movie. You got Loki fighting in New York, which is a big backdrop for a lot of the storyline and plot throughout the entire MCU, obviously.
Yeah.
Having flashbacks to it it was in Infinity War, wasn't it? Or was that Endgame?
It was Endgame.
Endgame, right? So even flashbacks to the Battle of New York in Avengers 1, it has a lot of the world building that Iron Man 1 has.
Uh-huh.
I enjoyed Avengers. It was not up there for me, for sure.
It came out the same summer as, I want to say, Transformers 2 or maybe 3. And it was really just like a showcase of like how to do a summer blockbuster well and not well at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Chelsea, did you like Avengers a lot?
The first Avengers?
Yes.
Yes, I enjoyed it a lot. Actually, trying to put this together was quite a challenge for where to list all of the Avengers films. It definitely holds a special place in my heart because it was essentially the first MCU movie that me and my best friends came to watch it, and since then we made a tradition to watch all the Marvel movies.
Yeah. It's Avengers took over for those young adult novel toting vampires, those Hunger Games, and it really took the summer blockbuster, and you see all of your favorite superheroes together, and it's a big explosion. Eat your popcorns. Done well. Joss Whedon was there. He did his thing. He wasn't able to say Batman vs Superman, however, which is fine, I guess. Let's not talk about
DC at all.
DC while we're here. Joker was good, though. Go watch Joker. So I'm going to just jump us forward a little bit in this conversation. Anybody have anything to say about Avengers or Ant-Man and the Wasp to sway it one way or another?
I mean, I'm the only reason I think that Ant-Man and the Wasp is even on here.
I was so happy it was there, though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And I'm gonna go ahead and just say Avengers, but man, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I know, right? It was such a fun movie, and I think it's the lowest box office return of any of the Marvel movies, which is a shame. But it's just because it's a smaller, lesser known. It didn't
He's a smaller hero.
Yeah, shut your mouth right now. He's the smallest of the heroes.
It was a nice palate cleanser for that one
And,
after Infinity War.
I know, it was right after Infinity War.
Yeah.
God, I forgot about how cool that stinger was at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
He fell into a van and he was just there for a while. Ghost is still around, though, right? I don't think we've heard if she's gone or not.
I don't remember. I like the last time I saw it was it was still in theaters.
Yeah, I don't think I saw her
It's one
dust
of the,
or anything.
I don't think she was
ones
part of the snap.
I mean, she certainly wasn't mentioned, but I don't think any of the I don't think any villains, major or minor, were even mentioned when it came to the snap.
Was she a villain at the end of the movie? I don't know.
She was a question mark.
She was a big
we
mystery.
love our anti-heroes.
Yes, we do. All right, so we're going to move Avengers on to the next round, and, we're going a little long on this because we like the Marvel stuff, so we're just
we like the stuff.
This is why we're doing it. But we're going to jump into the real tough questions here. We have... why did I do that? Sorry. All right, cool. So we're going to jump up to this next one, and Drake, this is going to kill your soul because it's going to knock out one of your Captain America movies. We have... Whoops. Whoops.
We have
We
a
have
page.
Captain movies, not
we
the
go.
ones that got eliminated.
Oh no.
Now we're done. We're Winter Soldier, Civil War.
Sorry, is it Winter Soldier versus Civil War?
Yes, it is.
Oh, Winter Soldier, hands down.
I
Like
know.
I don't even want to talk about it. It
Okay,
just-
fine. We're gonna skip over that. Civil War was garbage. Chelsea,
Yeah.
do you have any reason to try to convince us that Civil War was a better movie than what I think me and Drake both had our number ones as?
Wait, just from both the Cap movies, or
Well, Civil War versus Winter Soldier. Is there any reason in your mind why you think Civil War is a better made film, which it's not?
I don't have anything to go.
Damn, I guess we're gonna have to move Winter Soldier on.
Oh,
But
what a bummer that Winter
I know.
Soldier moved on.
I think these
So
rounds
many
are gonna get a little
losses.
bit easier. You know? But Winter Soldier, spy thriller. You get Scarlett Johansson, Chris Evans. I mean, like
Some
it's
of
so
the-
well made. Bucky comes into the picture and becomes I think one of the strongest villain-esque type of characters to build off of. He had the most I don't know. I love Winter Soldier a lot.
Yeah.
basically. I could watch that movie over and over and over and over again.
I think I've seen that one more than any other Marvel movie.
Yeah, sometimes when I put on Marvel movies right now, just to watch, I only have 3 that I really care to put on. And
Yeah.
as much as Endgame is great, it's really, really deep. It's not.
And it takes
It
forever.
takes forever. It's 3 hours long.
Yeah,
So when I put on movies, I put on Winter Soldier, I put on Guardians, and I put on Ragnarok because they're just fun, individualistic films which you can watch on their own.
yeah.
Whereas Winter Soldier was a spy thriller, Ragnarok's a comedy, Guardians of the Galaxy is a comedy also, but it's fun. So Winter Soldier is going to go on unless you can, for some reason, anybody change my mind right there. So Winter Soldier.
We're not going to arm wrestle over Winter Soldier. It's a good
No
one.
one's going to go pretty far in this whole bracket that doesn't actually mean anything. All right.
It means something to me.
We're going to leave this one because I think that's the premier matchup of this whole. Damn it, Wallace. Do your job. All right. Cool.
You need better interns.
I need better interns. I paid for that intern. He doesn't do his job. Anyway, this is actually a crazy matchup. The thing that started it all versus the thing that ended it all. Avengers Endgame versus Iron Man.
Holy shit.
That's pretty deep, and it's not as deep as I didn't think it was going to be that intense, but you got to look at Iron Man, as we said before, as the thing that started it all. Without Jon Favreau, without Robert Downey Jr., there's no possibility for an Avengers Endgame. That does not mean I'm fighting on Iron Man's side right now. Avengers Endgame came out, and it just rocked the world. Basically, people jumped to their feet. They saw, on your left, they saw Mjolnir in the hands of Captain America. And
So many good
everywhere,
moments.
I saw people cry in the theaters. I saw people, jumping up. I saw people laughing. And it was a movie that was so... I mean, it's hard to say. It's so, of its time. It's going to be remembered forever. Iron Man will also,
Yes.
but Endgame was so huge and so memorable that if you ask me right now, say 3 scenes in Iron Man 1, it's tough for me. It's tougher for me than a movie if you ask me in 10 years, I will only remember Endgame when it comes to the cool scene. He is walking out in the big old Iron Man suit that he made.
Dude, the Mark one's cool, though.
Yeah.
The Mark one's cool.
It
Mark
is.
1 is super cool, yeah. That poor guy didn't make it out, though. He died.
Honestly, that's I think I like the suit ups in Iron Man 1 and 2 better than any of the other movies. By the time we get to Endgame and it's just nanobots, boom, he's already suited up.
Nanobots.
It's kind of boring at that point.
Yeah, it's like they trusted us viewers to know what it looks like for him to actually do it. So we're gonna make it really easy CGI. It's fine. But so Endgame, what did Endgame do for you?
I saw it 6 times.
6 times? That's almost 18 hours of your life.
I know. 18 hours that I'm glad I went and watched this movie. Like you said, there will always be a certain love and impact that's different from the first Iron Man because it planted the seed of what we eventually got. But Endgame was such a beautiful send-off for, the culmination of all these movies, of all these characters, that
And they did it well.
And they did it well.
Which is crazy. How do you hit the landing for like 27 movies?
Exactly. I mean, more or less, pretty much like everyone like got a payoff, and just
they all had their moments.
They all had their moments. The structure.
It's hard. Yeah, I think you enjoy Endgame, Drake.
Yeah.
It was a fun time.
I mean, I might be the only one here who's going to say Iron Man over Endgame, sheerly because like it's the only one like between the two that can be enjoyed kind of as its own movie, which like that's just a necessity for Endgame, but at the same time, like
yeah, I feel almost bad putting these event films over the individualistic styling of some of these films.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if Endgame was going up against Winter Soldier right now, I'd say Winter Soldier, because Winter Soldier is a better made film. But Endgame is so damn memorable that I can't say it over Iron Man at this point. Because like I said, it was such a natural phenomenon, and it needs to be discussed further. So I'm picking Endgame. Iron Man probably.
Yeah, no. It's 2-1. It's fine.
I don't want you to be upset about it.
I just wanted to be the voice.
I get it. I know it's been really boring so far. We're all like,
we're all like, we're all in agreement. So yeah,
that's great. Okay, we're gonna move to the next one down here. Is Guardians of the Galaxy versus I think Avengers won it. So
sorry, is that Guardians 1?
Guardians 1, yeah. Guardians 1 versus the first Avengers. Avengers, not Avenger. Chelsea, Guardians of the Galaxy is probably your favorite one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's up there. I think it was number 2 for me. Guardians of the Galaxy, I loved it. I loved that movie. I loved the whole thing, the soundtrack. It brought a new feel to the MCU. It really kicked it up to a certain level where it's like, we're not going to be put in this box. We're not going to do the same shooting up, Obviously, Winter Soldier was the exception to that. But you look at all the early films... I own them. It doesn't mean I'm going to put them on every single day, with the exception of Iron Man.
Yeah.
First Avenger, you like First Avenger.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're not going to put on Thor. Nobody cares.
Well, like, not only that, but there's Captain America, there's Iron Man, there's Thor. Those movies, like, of course, of course they did well. But like, it's the audacity of Guardians of the Galaxy to be good and to be like the group of nobodies that maybe only like a handful of people comparatively even knew about is incredible.
Right.
And that's the thing. This was Marvel's biggest swing.
Yeah.
There was nothing that they did that was bigger and more important for their success than Guardians of the Galaxy. Just like Winter Soldier was, I think, the best made movie, I think this was the biggest risk and biggest reward they had.
Yeah.
Because if they missed on this, who gives a flying, puffer pig what people care? If that misses, the next movie to come out was
Ant-Man?
I think it was Ant-Man, yeah.
It was Guardians and then Ant-Man.
Yeah, so they're taking all these risks. If Guardians flops, you got to think Ant-Man also is going to take a major hit.
Yeah.
And the major development, it's either... And then, like, Doctor Strange was...
2016. Yeah, it was late 2016.
So that in-between time was so crucial. If they miss with Guardians of the Galaxy... You might not see an Endgame. You might not see an Infinity War.
They had like so many, like dice they were trying to roll with, because it's like, oh, we're making a big space romp.
Yes.
And that is a big gamble, and we could screw it up monumentally.
That's a big gamble, and that's a Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
That's a Star Wars thing. If we're gonna hit big with the space romp,
exactly,
we better do it right.
It's like, I'm sure they were initially scared. It's like, how are we gonna make people care about like a talking raccoon and a tree?
Yeah,
and it worked.
I'm not even sure people care about the comics still, but
right.
Guardians of the Galaxy. But
yeah,
people sure as hell care about the movies a lot
oh,
right now.
Yes.
So when it comes to the Avengers versus Guardians, the first one, I honestly don't think it's a close comparison. The first Avengers was such a moving movie to move on, like, oh, we are gonna go on, but Avengers was so like important, I would say, to MCU. So I'm gonna pick the Guardians of the Galaxy. Chelsea, do you think Avengers is better than Guardians?
No.
Wow. Drake, you gonna be the odd man out here?
No, I guess we're gonna be unanimous again.
Yeah, I think Guardians was good enough to be unanimous here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna move that on right there. Yeah, so Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, I think it was just called Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yeah.
Not Volume 1. Trying to pull a Star Wars thing.
Didn't get the volume to number 2.
Didn't get the volume till number 2 there, yeah. So this one sucks and is very, very tough and could be an entire 45-minute argument right now. But we're jumping to Black Panther versus Thor Ragnarok.
Holy shit.
That's a tough one, right? Black Panther being the cultural movement, the obviously politically enhanced, but also it has the gravitas of a Michael B. Jordan. It was nominated for an Oscar.
Did Michael B. Jordan have like a shitload of gravitas before?
He didn't, but he brought gravitas to that character.
That's okay.
Well, no,
I was like, I wasn't super familiar with his career before then, other than like.
Here's the thing. I take back my statement a little bit because he at this point had already been in Creed, the original Creed Rocky movie, which was nominated for an Oscar. He was nominated for an Oscar himself in Fruitvale Station. So he had.
Oh God, I forgot about Fruitvale Station.
Yeah, I mean that was a very, very tough movie to watch. It was very, very good, but also he's got this Oscar gravitas, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't widely known except for, I think, Creed was his most well-known movie at the time, because even Fruitvale Station was very much kind of a art house crowd, I would say.
Yeah.
So
did that ever? I don't think that ever got like a wide release.
It never got a wide release.
Yeah, it's
one of those things. So he comes in as Killmonger, and he just, I'm not going to say kills it because puns are for the devil, but he was so good. Like, what? Shut up, Drake. You're ruining the show. He basically, when that movie came out, I thought to myself, this might be the strongest villain we've ever had in the universe. And I did at the time. I might go back a little bit on it now in retrospect. I was on that hype train for. Were you on that hype train, Drake?
Big time. Like no villain's message, no hero's message has resonated with me quite like Killmonger's.
Yeah.
Man's got a point.
He's got a point. That's the thing. He began this movement in the MCU where they wrote the villain so well. Obviously, they've been like writing Thanos' like kind of plot line for like years and years now. But this was so out of left field and so out of nowhere, his plot line and how believable he was. Yeah, it was very, very good. Chelsea, did you like Black Panther a lot?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. I saw it, I think, 4 or 5 times in the theater.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of movies. I've seen a lot of... Basically, I see it... I don't want to say I rewatch every Marvel movie every single year, but there's a few that I do revisit. Black Panther is one that I will
That's what I'm
revisit.
saying. It's a tough call because Thor Ragnarok is, like, so good and there's so much, like, I appreciate, you know, like, from Taika's vision, just... from, you know, everything he put, like, from the humor to the writing to, like, the aesthetic, but then Black Panther changed so much, and it broke so many, I guess you can say, rules, essentially, and it just, like, had a huge cultural impact.
Yeah, it had a huge cultural impact. You know, it was so... The essence of Oakland was so put into the movie by Ryan Coogler that literally, like... I'm out of words, man. Black Panther was so good.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite movie, but it was so good. Thor Ragnarok, that we did talk about before, it's kind of more of a straight comedy, but it's so cinematically perfectly made when it comes to the comedic parts of it, and when it comes to the actual cinematography of it. You cannot tell me that Valkyrie scene was not one of the best Marvel scenes you've ever seen.
Oh, it was
before.
one of the best.
The one where she's like falling and like so amazingly shot that
we started getting some beautiful wide shots in the third I don't know, bracket of I forgot what they've been calling them.
Phases.
There we go.
Yeah.
The third phase has some beautiful wide shots.
They started to get. Obviously, you have these first films that come out, the Iron Man's, Captain America's, Thor, and they start to lay this pavement, and they start to get better at everything they do. So better and better and better and better. And it's crazy where we've gotten with Endgame, where everything was so crazy well shot, well written. Every character had a moment. And Thor Ragnarok, I mean, I think that was probably the funniest Marvel movie I've ever seen. It's really cool to see the Hulk in any movie. So seeing him fight in that arena scene was really, really fun.
Also, finally getting some good Hulk lore.
I know.
In the MCU, anyway.
He deserves more stuff. Universal's the worst. They're just never going to let him actually have his moment in the sun. And then the Grandmaster. Jeff Goldblum, man.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
I love that guy.
Did you watch the like the little short film?
Where he's on Earth with his roommate Daryl?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes,
God,
I love it.
I've only seen that once, but I definitely remember what you're talking about.
Love that.
It's so funny. It's like with roommates.
Jeff Goldblum is a treasure.
He is my favorite, one of my favorite people in the entire world. I've said this before on this show. Have you been to the Disneyland Resort at any point in the last couple of years?
Not since like 2009.
That's too long ago. But on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, there's a big old oil painting of the Grandmaster playing like checkers with the Collector, and it's just Jeff Goldblum hitting the thing. And I would pay so much money to just own that and put this in this room. Everything would be put to shame by that photo or that picture.
I would watch an entire like 2.5 hour movie of Grandmaster and Collector just living together.
Oh my God, that would be so amazing.
Collector. The Collector die? Is he alive?
Yeah, Benicio del Toro, he's fine.
Yeah,
He's good.
he
I mean, they did the little flashback, or they did a little like time warp thing where like he was
I'm
like.
pretty sure he can't be killed. Well, I think they're roughly on the same power level as Thanos.
Because they're elders of the universe, so
Yeah.
they're like over like millions of years old, so it'd be kind of hard to kill them.
Yeah, I want that sitcom now, to be completely honest.
Absolutely.
It's directed by Taika.
I'm still really excited about that Jeff Goldblum show on Disney Plus, which is he's got like I'm gonna go to Aruba now and take the crew with us. Let's go surf or do something.
He's gonna be wearing like Hawaiian shirts,
shirts, makeup, and
glasses.
That's it.
Good to go.
Good to go. I don't want to break this. We've already talked about these movies a little bit here, but we're gonna have to get to this tough decision here because we got to move on.
Right.
Chelsea, Drake. I'm not gonna make one of you pick first.
Ragnarok. I'll bite the bullet.
Well, I thought you were a big Black Panther guy.
I am a big Black Panther guy, but at the end of the day, it and Ant-Man have the same problem of like as cool as Killmonger is, he is just palette swap Black Panther.
Yeah, that's true.
And we'd seen too much of that. I like Black Panther a lot, but it's got to be Ragnarok.
And Thor Ragnarok is so different from like every other movie. It's such an individualistic movie. I can't believe that the next we're gonna put Ragnarok through because I think that's an easy.
Yeah.
And we're fine. We're gonna go to that one next, but we're going to Endgame versus Guardians of the Galaxy. And I actually don't think this one is that close.
No.
And I think it's not. Well, here's the thing. I'm going Guardians of the Galaxy on this one. Guardians of the Galaxy, like I said, changed the game. It's more watchable over and over again. Endgame is great, but there's so much levity to it. There's so much.
Long.
There's so long. It's so much.
You have to just like.
There's so much like at stake. You can't sit back as a moviegoer
and be like
just enjoy. And I know the Endgame has those moments, but we're only gonna feel it once.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so it's super cool to see Cap pick up the hammer.
Oh yes.
Oh, that is the only time I have ever like shouted in a movie theater.
And that's the thing. Everybody did it once. The entire world at once jumped up and shouted when he picked up that hammer.
Yeah.
When on your left, another moment. Tears in Nerd's eyes everywhere, man. At I Love You 3000, right? Those are moments that you will feel for the rest of your life. But when it comes to your favorite movies, you want to be able to watch something repetitively, and at least with all these other ones, you'll pick up on small things here and there. And it's not like Endgame didn't have its Easter eggs that you'll pick up more and more.
Yeah.
But I think Guardians is more enjoyable of a watchable film on a repeat. Chelsea, you gonna turn on Guardians?
God, no.
No. Drake, do you have any rebuttal on the Endgame versus Guardians decision right here?
Yeah, I actually think that no, it's Guardians.
It's Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Yeah, I thought that would be a little bit more difficult, but well, like I said, it's kind of hard to pick one of those event films.
Let's be real. If I'm gonna watch Endgame again, like if I'm gonna sit down and watch it, it's gonna be on like my second day off, and my first day off is gonna be Infinity War, and because like
let's talk about Infinity War for a second, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not a movie that made any of our lists. Right?
I think that was I think there was like a reason for that. Like I don't think anyone. I think we all kind of consciously didn't want to put both of those movies on our lists.
I feel like they're inherently connected almost. But Infinity War really was it's the first time the villain won. Right?
Yeah.
It's the first time that had the levity of, wow, our favorite heroes have lost. The movie itself was a movie about a villain for the most part. And I enjoyed the heck out of it. And in the moment, I was hyped. I thought it was great. But then you sit back and you realize the movie was a little bit of a subpar film. It was a little bit messier put together. But it also...
Yeah.
It had the... I don't know. It's one big movie for me. It's a nice 6-hour movie. It's like The Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah.
So when I watch those movies, I'll watch them together in a night or two. But
Yeah.
like I said, Infinity War, I enjoyed the heck out of. I thought Josh Brolin as Thanos was fantastic. Grimace, like, it's amazing. So that it deserves.
I
to be
wanted
discussed.
to swipe a credit card on his chin.
I know, right? Boom.
Because he has the
Nuggets, please. So it's
Thanos nuggets.
Oh, yeah, that's too bad. Well, I mean, his head kind of looked like a nugget at the end there. Anyway, moving on. So Guardians is going to move on there, and then we're going to jump to a really difficult one. On the left-hand side, we're going to Winter Soldier versus Thor Ragnarok. That's
no.
a tough one. That's a really, really tough one. Because we have this situation where I think if I'm going to watch a movie over and over and over again, it is going to be a Thor Ragnarok. But it's hard to argue that Winter Soldier, it's so thoroughly made.
It's so crafted.
It's so
beautifully.
crafted. It's a spy thriller.
Yes.
It's got the best of Cap. It's got introductions to... Mackie was introduced in Winter Soldier,
Yes.
right? I mean, you have all of this stuff. Scarlett Johansson comes to the front a little bit further. Robert Redford, was that? Yeah. I mean, like, it's got all this stuff.
Robert, didn't he come out of retirement for that
I mean,
too?
he wasn't, like, doing anything. He's like, well, Winter Soldier. I'll do
Yes.
that one. And then he did movies like Walking in the Woods that nobody cared about. But Robert Redford, the whole thing, man. Like, it's hard to argue with Winter Soldier. I don't know where I'm at with this one. Do you guys have any anything to say on either one of those?
I mean,
that decipher what we might decide.
You have a good point about, like, when it comes to rewatching movies, it's you would personally prefer to watch something a little more lighthearted, like, you know, like Thor Ragnarok. But I think I kind of feel the opposite. I'd rather sit down for Winter Soldier. It's not too grim. Like, they're like, obviously it's still got some, you know.
No, it's got some stuff.
It's got levity to it.
Yeah.
Chelsea, what do you think?
It's a hard call. Like pretty much like
Yeah, it's a hard call.
like everyone's saying, the Ragnarok definitely has more like repeated value to it because it is more lighthearted. It's very, it's fun. It's bombastic. There's just so much going for it. But often when I think about just well-made movies, not even just MCU movies, but just like I like watching a film and just like watching it and breaking it down, technical side. It's Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
It's gonna hurt.
It's hard to fight against.
It's hurting.
It's hard to fight against Ragnarok hard, but Winter Soldier is, you know, like I said, it's me and Drake's #1 movie, and I'm trying to go off of this with my feel and the arguments and stuff, but
yeah.
I'm going with.
Winter Soldier. I'm gonna go as well. Drake, you going Winter Soldier over Ragnarok here? Right,
Well, so long as my vote doesn't matter, we're gonna go. Well, I'll say Ragnarok just to mix it up.
What a nice guy! All right, cool. So we're gonna ignore Drake there. Winter Soldier going on to the final round here, where we have a matchup of my top 2 films, which is fine with me. Captain America: Winter Soldier versus Drax.
Versus just
The
Drax.
tree. Just Drax.
Just Drax.
With those curved little daggers.
You can take it on.
He would take it on. He would jump in the mouth and stab at Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And then, it's great. Anyway, so Winter Soldier versus Guardians of the Galaxy. Does anybody have anything to say defending one or the other on this one?
Bucky's real cool, you guys.
He's
real
That's
cool.
gonna come.
I love Bucky.
I love Bucky too.
There's no fighting on that.
Bucky's great.
He might be one of my favorite main characters. But
characters.
again,
I think
I'm kind of biased.
To be completely honest, I think he might be my favorites, non-main characters also. he's just so awesome. Like he's cool. He's got a metal arm. He's got a really nice story. He's Sebastian Stan, who is actually an incredible actor.
The first time I watched the snap scene in Infinity War, I was kind of bummed that his death was so kind of short.
Yeah, quick.
But on like repeat viewings and actually having like thought about it,
when he said Steve, it hit me harder than any other. And I have an entire collection of Groot up there. So listen, when he said Steve and he fell to the ground, that was the most devastating part of that entire sequence. It wasn't Groot going away and Rocket crying over his body. God, that was a sad ending, man.
That was so brutal.
It was so rough to watch. That's why we didn't put it on our favorite show.
Yeah, the movie, traumatized me.
It traumatized us for months. We all knew they were coming back, but it was still devastating to watch.
Yeah, it was.
So just to wrap this up really quick, I think that when I have to decide on one movie to watch, Chelsea, and I'm sorry, I gotta go with my Winter Soldier right now. Winter Soldier is that's my pick. Chelsea, let's give you a pick before he goes over here and destroys everything.
Nice.
Which means you could pick Guardians if you wanted. So your decision.
I am picking Guardians.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
You have anything to sway me? Because I can be swayed. I very much am not a man of my own convictions. I can change really fast.
Well, it just, that movie, it literally, it changed me when I had first seen it.
Oh, God, you're so right. Because
the thing is, I didn't even see it like I had said before. It was always a tradition to see it with my friends, but it just so happened the weekend it came out, because it came out August 1st, 2014. I wasn't presently in town, so I had asked my friends, like, hey, can we like put it off for a week? And they're like, sure. So I saw it the following week, which was my birthday, and I just remember at that point, I think, and like I said, it's very difficult, because I think up until that point, 'cause just a few months before, I really, really dug Winter Soldier. I thought it was so good. I kept saying, like, oh, this is such a great Marvel movie. It's an espionage thriller. There's just so much right. But then when I watched Guardians, and then just the moment, like, when Peter Quill started playing his Walkman, I was completely just blown away. And
that moment for me as well, when he's playing his Walkman, he's doing his dance. Yeah. That was one of my favorite scenes of any MCU movie.
It struck me because the reason why I love those movies so damn much is because the music it's very integral to it, to my, like, for me personally, because I grew up with a single mom, kind of like Peter Quill, and I was adopted by the music that she instilled on her son, like my mom did to me. And so when I saw that reflected in like this big blockbuster of a movie, just like, but this like old timey 70s song, that just, it changed me. It struck me. I was just like, all right, it's game over. It's done. And here we are, almost 10 years later. I have it tattooed on my...
Yeah, it's on her body, guys.
It's on my... It's permanently on my body.
All right, so I'm going to pass it over to Drake Kemp here. I'm actually very much on the edge still, to be completely honest. And so you won't ruin things one way or another.
I'm so upset to be the tiebreaker here, but like...
Well, you maybe not. Maybe you're not the tiebreaker.
Look.
Maybe I'm the tiebreaker.
Bucky...
Oh, you son of a bitch. There's my one curse word for the goddamn day.
Struggling against his programming. Like maybe that's just a trope that I really, really enjoy, but two former friends or, brothers or whatever that are like forced to clash in some way. It's so powerful, even like and obviously you can do it poorly in a movie, or you can do it in a bad movie, but it worked so well. It was some of my more emotional moments for me were in Winter Soldier. Particularly like even just like the very end where Buck saves Steve and just walks off is so good.
Yeah.
And it's a bold ending.
That's my jam. That is my jam.
Yeah.
So, like as much as I loved Guardians, as much as I went into Guardians with I'm not gonna say low expectations, but I was like,
You should have. You should have, though. I mean,
here,
to be honest.
I'm here to see a Marvel movie. This one looks absolutely ridiculous,
Right.
so I'm ready for a good time.
Yeah.
And I walked out like that was one of the best Marvel movies.
It could have been a Suicide Squad when it turned out to be Guardians of the Galaxy, right? James Gunn's directing Suicide Squad too, so that one's coming out. We'll see how that does.
I'm excited.
Look, if he's got creative control, it'll probably be okay. But
sounds
I
like he might.
seriously doubt that Warner is gonna let anyone have like complete control over anything. So
I think it's their track record recently. They've really I think are letting their
They
directors.
had to let go. They had to let go a little bit. 'Cause
Yeah.
Todd Phillips just made a freaking movie about a psychological, mad, crazy, mentally ill man.
Yeah.
Going out and going into madness and becoming a full conversation piece. It's not one of their normal David Ayer films. It's not one of their Snyder movies, but maybe we'll see. They're starting to realize that they can't keep going. They can't compete with this Marvel thing. They can't go up one for one.
you say that, but I don't know, man. I don't have any faith in.
I hope so.
in Warner Brothers.
Like I said, I hope it changes. And this is the thing. It could swing one way, swing another, or Marvel can keep stampeding over Warner Brothers. I'm fine with that either way. I don't really care. So he going Winter Soldier.
I'm going Winter Soldier.
All right.
It either answer would have upset me.
Yeah.
Like
I was sitting here right now being like, choose Guardians, right? Just
Do
choose
it.
Guardians
Just do it,
so I
please.
can be the
Just do
douchebag. I chose, and we all win. We all get what we want, which I guess apparently was Guardians to win, and it didn't win. It lost. So the winner of our gauntlet today is going to be Captain America: Winter Soldier as our general one of our favorite movies. Probably in general, it's in one of my favorite movies of all time, not just Marvel movies, which I think transcends. Guardians is up there too, but I think the fact that Winter Soldier transcends the fact that it's a superhero movie. It's in one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
So you can't pass that up. But Guardians of the Galaxy, you can't look past the fact that it. Yeah, Iron Man started this whole thing, but without Guardians of the Galaxy, they don't get to this point. Without Winter Soldier, they don't get the gravitas in their movies. When you get a Robert Redford coming into your films, you start to see other actors notice this Marvel thing.
Yeah.
So, like I said, everybody wins here. Marvel movies are great, even The Incredible Hulk. We'll go out on that one.
it didn't make any of our lists for probably good reason, but James Spader just killed it as Ultron. As much as I don't like that movie,
Ultron.
I love James Spader.
Any honorable mentions, because there's got to be a few.
we can't not.
A lot
talk
of people
about
trash
Spader.
on Ultron, though, but I had a good time with Ultron.
Ultron just seemed unfocused.
Yeah.
Very much so. Well, it's trying to focus a lot. It's trying to it's on the line of what we can and can't say with the mutant situations at this part. It's also trying to progress and go off of the expectations of the first Avengers movie that came out.
Joss Whedon had so much pressure when he made that movie.
Yeah, they stayed up at night.
Yeah, there was a lot going in.
There was also some decent Black Panther world building and having Claw and all of the inferences
I didn't even mention Claw.
of Wakanda. But
it was small, but it was
there,
important.
yeah. I bring it up in the context of the movie feeling unfocused because it was there Ultron was doing so many different things, and then also we have to do some world building, and also we have to do whatever the Avengers are doing, and it was just it just felt like there were too many balls in the air for which is bizarre because Endgame had the most balls in the air.
It had 1,000 characters. Yeah,
I think it helped that it had maybe because it had two directors. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. That definitely doesn't help. Chelsea, do you have any honorable mentions that you want to throw out?
Honorable mentions. It did not make it into my top list, but I do really, really enjoy Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yes.
I mean, that's such a fun movie.
Paul Rudd is amazing. Scott Lang's great as a character.
I love Michael Pena, too, and everything that he's in. He's super funny.
Scott might be the best part of Civil War.
He might be. We didn't even mention the fact that he turned into Giant Man.
Oh, my God.
There's so much that happens in this freaking series, but like, yeah, the fact when he gets big and they make the Empire Strikes Back reference and Spider-Man is spinning around the whole thing, that whole scene was gold. I can't believe I didn't bring that up, but yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp was fun. You did mention Homecoming in your list. It was one that didn't get in there. Once again, it's a very individualistic styled film.
Yeah.
As the way of like a young adult, we get our young adult Spider-Man now. He feels young. You get the young storylines, and you get this kind of like
It's
Hughes-esque. Like,
yeah, it was very like a John Hughes
it's
movie.
a John Hughes-esque movie with an MCU movie, which is
It almost made my top 10 just due to Vulture alone, because everything that I said about Killmonger,
Michael
double
Keaton.
for Vulture.
and they came like right after each other. Like
Yeah.
with the gravitas of like these straight up like A-list actors.
I thought like the next movie was just going to be Mickey Mouse walking out and be like, "Yo, revolution, power to the people." Like,
Power to the villains, man.
like
Yeah.
what?
They and then they come out with Far From Home, which has a Jake Gyllenhaal, which right now he's also an A-list actor. He's nominated for Oscars every time he acts, basically.
I literally just watched Far From Home last night.
For the first time?
No, just a rewatch. Yeah.
Good. Do you like Far From Home? Did you see that one?
Yeah. Like, I like Far From Home. Did you guys see like this is a bit of a like a diversion, but did you guys see Nightcrawler? I assume
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Nightcrawler was...
He was
he
so
was-
disturbing.
There was
that.
no reason that Jake Gyllenhaal did not win an Oscar for that film.
Yeah.
There's also no reason that film was not nominated for Best Picture. It was a fantastic film.
Crash won best.
Crash can
so
win
like
an
so
Oscar.
like the Oscars are meaningless. They're a farce. It doesn't matter.
They're a farce. We'll argue a little bit on that, but for the most part, they very much are out of touch sometimes. More than anything, I'll say. Have you seen Hereditary?
No.
God damn you. Go watch Hereditary. It's
I'm
very, very
I'm
good.
sorry.
Ari Aster. No, you shouldn't. Toni Collette has a performance in there, and she wasn't even talked about for any awards. And it's just the horror bias when it comes to these 85-year-old white men
I'll fight the Academy
watching
on
the
that.
screeners on their TV and not getting
horror
spooked,
movies.
so-
Yeah, they're.
Yeah. There was enough social commentary within Get Out to get nominated, but not enough.
Get
for
Out still
Hereditary.
though.
Get Out is... I love Get Out. It's one of my favorite movies. It's fantastic. It gets better every single time you watch it, which is crazy.
Did Us come out yet?
Drake, go to the theater sometime, man.
It came out in
It
March.
came out in March. Yeah, you're right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it came out in March. I enjoyed Us very much as well. Yeah. Jordan Peele's on a hot streak, man. Twilight Zone's not very good, but everything else he's done is very, very good. Anyway, so honorable mentions for me, I would have to bring out Homecoming as one of my favorites as well. Besides that, most of my list is pretty set. Infinity War I enjoyed as much. That probably would have been number 11 or 12. And, Guardians. I love Guardians. That wasn't on my top 10 list, but I'm glad that did get on there. But I think that's going to be it for our show today. Hot take, Incredible Hulk was better than the first Avenger. We're going to go on to Chelsea. Do you have any...
We're all canceled. How could you do this?
yeah, we are. I said that on air last week, and I think I got some hits. Got some hits on that. Chelsea, you're a very creative person. You're going to have to show him your artwork. She is a fantastic artist. Where can we find you?
You can find me on my coffee account. That's spelled KO-IF. I'm taking requests, and my username is Osaluna, which is OCELUNA. I am taking art requests right now.
All right. Very good. Drake, it's such a good time to have you on here, man. I know you're not much on the
Thanks.
social webs or anything like that, but
No, I very intentionally
Yeah.
disappeared.
very good.
I'm
That's-
basically a ghost.
You're a ghost. Well, it's good to see you, Ghost. I missed you. in the
I will
last
I will
couple
dis- I will discorporate the second you hit record.
That's great. Right, we'll have to have you back on to make sure people know that you haven't,
That I exist still?
Yeah. Cool. All right. I am Barno, your host again. Once again, you can find me at Barno_922 on the Twitter webs or on Facebook at our AfterTaste page. Also, we're part of the Maybe It's a Network. Maybe It's a Network. NET. Oh my God, I can't spell network. Maybe It's a Network. NETWRK, because Twitter is the worst and they won't give me the correct hashtag. That's going to be it for today's show. And we were good. I'll cut this part.
Cool.
It was so good for a while there.
It was so
good for a while. It was so
beautiful.
professional. We'll have reviews every single Wednesday. Check us out on Wednesday. We're starting our Halloween roundtable review session, coming out starting on Friday, all the way up through Halloween. one roundtable discussion every single day. And you can check us out on the Maybe It's Network on Spotify and on Apple Podcast. And we will see you next time.